in front of me have already made a number of points in the context of, well, this is in terms of a wider scope that we are looking at, that we really also need to take that into account. And for us, from the Commission, it's all about the fact that, well, we have new digital services. The whole digital single market is what we see a very important contributor to growth and jobs in Europe. And it is also something where we think it's mainstream now. Digital is part of our life. And if it's that way, then of course there's also a lot of things in terms of demand that have changed between, let's say, 1G, 2G, and today when we're talking about 5G. Back then we were talking about a phone call. Today we're talking not only about phone calls, but about all the different apps that you can imagine in context of your smartphone, in context of not only smartphones, but also cars and what have you, and Internet of Things. So there's a whole bunch of things. What we have put forward on the 14th of September is a package where we want to address the digital single market from the angle of connectivity. Connectivity is important, and I'm not only talking about gigabit broadband objectives, which are put forward in one of the elements that we have put forward as a Commission communication as part of that package, but I'm also talking about, so it's the speed, but also about the coverage of these services, which is a key element in the proposal. I'll get to the 5G action plan in a minute. We also have elements in the package regarding Wi-Fi and a targeted voucher scheme in order to bring services, digital services, into public places. And of course, we also already mentioned earlier, we have the review of the telecoms regulatory framework, which we call the European Electronic Communications Code, which we see as an important element also for facilitating 5G. All of these elements are mutually supporting elements. Of course, I'm not going to go into all these things today. I'm only going to dwell on the 5G action plan. So the 5G action plan, what do we want to achieve? Well, we want to have deployment of advanced 5G networks as from 2020 in a coordinated manner, and this should be a strategic driver for EU competitiveness. How are we going to do this? Well, an important factor in this is time, and we want to ensure that we have a comprehensive set of operational steps that will accelerate investment into the infrastructure. So, denser cellular coverage, better backhauling, also better connectivity for the verticals, which I'll get to in a minute, and also new innovative ecosystems. So the vertical industry are, so to speak, the drivers and for the demand. So this is why it's not only a new generation of mobile technologies, it's about the new business cases that you could address with this mobile technologies. Factories, e-health, media and entertainment, energy, automotive. I just mentioned a few here. There's, of course, a worldwide perspective to this as well, in the sense that I think if you read, for example, studies from ABI research, they think that worldwide 5G revenues in 2025 will be something like 225 billion euros. That's a huge amount of money. Of course, this is not only about telecom sector, it's about the sectors that you see written here. And of course, Europe wants to be playing a major role in this whole debate because of the different possibilities for growth and jobs. But as you can see from this slide, it's not only about the data rates, it's about low latency, it's about coverage, it's about density, it's about the reliability of the networks. And those are things that are quite diverse, and we have to have address this challenge in the future. Now, in terms of 5G and the action plan that we've put forward, the way we would like to see this moving forward is, of course, already in 2018 and even in 2017, early 5G launch in selected areas and using and showcasing trials for 5G. The Commission has a public-private partnership on 5G, and the trials can be in this context. EU funding is 700 million for this public-private partnership, and of course we also have, in addition, the funds coming from the private side. So we see this as an important first step of showing that there is a 5G launch. The second step coming in 2020 with commercial launch of 5G services in at least one major city in all member states. So again, here we want to facilitate the starting of 5G. We also encourage the member states to develop roadmaps on how they will deal with 5G and to make those public by the end of 2017. And then finally, you can see that by 2025, we would want to see 5G in all urban areas and along main transport paths. So clearly, we want to see an aggressive